Pleased to be joined by Nate Bloom, CEO of Sorghum United. And Nate, you had a great opportunity recently to travel internationally and represent at the Global Sorghum Conference.
I did, Steve. Thanks. Great to see you as always, and happy to represent Nebraska on a global stage. But big takeaway to your question is just the amount of research that is finally going into sorghum. People are recognizing the importance of the crop on health and nutrition, as well as the environmental benefits as our climate changes and gets warmer. And so finally those research dollars are going into it. So it's very exciting, great to connect with folks from around the world. And I'm really optimistic about where sorghum and millets are going next.
Just the versatility of sorghum, because you're talking about the health and the food side of it, but then there's also use it as a feedstock for biofuel production and all of those other things. There's a lot of different versatile, really cool, exciting uses that I think people are working on.
That's right. It's all food, fuel, and fiber. And people ask me, well, what can you use sorghum for? The answer is always, well, what can you use any grain for, really? Again, so it's ethanol, it's food, whether it's in the form of flour or as a whole or a pearled grain. But it's also in those industrial materials, blow-in insulation, packing peanuts. Actually, most packing peanuts now have some amount of sorghum in them, so they're biodegradable. And everything from temporary building materials to carbon fiber. So it's really exciting to see, again, the advances that have been coming in the sorghum industry, even in the last 5 years since I've been working in the industry. So,
just in terms of, I don't want to say it's more from an agronomic perspective, from a grower's perspective, where does this sorghum fit in, and should we unlock some of these new potentials? What does that then unlock for a producer who grows sorghum?
Right. Well, the number one thing for sorghum producers in Nebraska that I hear from them, or even I should even say corn and soybean producers, is they tell me they would grow it if they had somewhere to sell it. So one of our big challenges is creating those markets. So while we love seeing the research on, increasing yields or increasing oil capacity or some of these other things, what we need to do more work on, and what our organization really puts our bread and butter in, is building markets, both here at home as well as globally. And we say, listen, let's find ways in which we can attract businesses, production, food, whether it's food, fuel, or fiber production, that's proximate to the production of the grain. And so we can maybe offset and mitigate some of the market risk that comes with commodity markets through value-added and intentional agriculture. And then we're creating jobs as well as increasing on-farm revenues in that way.